Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Teleislas News with the most important news of the day. Governor of the Department Everett Hawkins calls on the community to attend the mass vaccination days that continues today at the Isleño Hotel Convention Center.
I am very grateful to the people who attended the call yesterday to get vaccinated. We met the expectation of more than 6,000 people in total. 7,300 people were vaccinated. Today we are seeing the low influx at the vaccination post. We have removed the checkpoint at the entrance of the vaccination post. That is why you only need your ID card in order to get vaccinated. It is important that you do it so that we can all achieve immunity.
At the end of this broadcast, more than 1,300 vaccines has been applied. Therefore, the invitation is extended for the community to attend so that the daily goal of 6,000 people vaccinated can be reached.
The massive day of vaccination continues at the Isleño Hotel, in which people keep arriving to receive their immunization.
Taking into account the large flow of people on yesterday's vaccination day, in which more than 7,000 people got immunized, the Secretary of Health, Julian Davis Robinson, gave a balance on how this second day is going.
Today the influx has been a little less, but it must be also taken in account that yesterday the community turn was there from 2 in the morning with false expectations that there would be agglomerations and that it was going to be a slow process. So when people know that it was not like that, they are arriving little by little. In the first hour of the morning, they managed to apply 564 doses. We are inviting the entire community not to leave the opportunity to advance with the vaccine for the last moment.
The objective of the departmental government is to continue with the goal of 6,000 daily doses so that the island can overcome the scourge that COVID-19 have left worldwide.
The departmental administration reminds the community that different vaccination points continue for people who are waiting the second dose of Sinovac and the first dose of AstraZeneca. Sylvette Mitchell with the news. Sylvette, go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, Lisa. Greetings to the whole community and to everybody that is watching today's last news right now. We want to remember the community that we continue right here in the second day of the mass vaccination plan here in the archipelago, but also we continue the national vaccination plan. That is why we want to tell the people that the other side that we will come in the treat first time, still enable for people who want to take the second dose of the Sinovac vaccine and also the first dose as of the AstraZeneca vaccine. To the people interested to take them here or to continue with the national vaccination plan. This is what the Secretary of Health said to Teleislas News.
We are here from the mass vaccination center in the Decameron Isleño Hotel. Here we can apply the first dose of Sinovac vaccine. According to the unification of the stages by the Ministry of Health, the Departmental Social State Enterprise continue its work with the vaccination to complete the second dose of Sinovac and the first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine. The vaccination points continue to be at the Departmental Hospital, the Manawar Park, the San Luis Coliseum, and the Health Center on the Hill.
So remember the community say from 16 years old you can come and take your vaccine, and also people who shot at the second dose of Sinovac then can go to the different points where they don't take it. Right here in the Centro Convenciones from the Isleño Hotel, only the people them from 16 years go back going to take the first dose of the Sinovac vaccine. So if you shot at the second dose of the Sinovac vaccine or you want to take the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, you must go at the different points them where the Secretary of Health mentioned. This is everything. Lisa, continue in studio with the most relevant news of the day. Good evening.
Thank you, Sylvette. And today the activities of Colombia Pact with Youth Continuous Program. This will allow young islanders of the archipelago to have the opportunity to present their problems to members of the national government.
In an interview with Teleislas News, the General Director of the Colombian Institute of Family Welfare made known the importance of the working tables that have been carried out with the young people from the department in the midst of disagreement with the youth.
To follow and advance on these tables where we listen and have active dialogue with the young people of San Andres, Old Providence, and Santa Catalina within the framework of the Colombian Youth Pact, which is a pact to really be able to connect with youth as a society and not only as government. There are pacts that seek first to listen to young people, understand their pain, and be able to build effective solutions with them to have a short, medium, and long-term roadmap that is concrete in order to solve the problems that young people claim, which are legitimate.
These listening tables will continue in the afternoon at the Bolivariano School, in which other high-ranking officials of the national government are also expected to be there.
The country and, of course, the archipelago are getting ready for elections of 2022. Today, the National Registry announced which will be the voting sites for the upcoming elections in the Department of San Andres.
Throughout this document, the National Register released the official voting stations in the Department of San Andres for the elections to the Congress, Presidency, and Vice Presidency of the Republic, which will be held in 2022. The 5 established voting stations are Bolivariano Institute, Natania School, Brooks Hill School, the San Luis Coliseum, Esfuerzo School, and the New Hope Penitentiary Center. The Registry Office also announced the dates for registration of identification cards for the election. Registration for the Congress election are open since March 13, 2021 until January 13 of 2022. And for presidential elections, registers are open since March 29 from 2021 to March 29 of 2022.
And in other news, Deputy Carlos Carvajal spoke exclusively to Teleislas News about requests for suspension against him from the President of the Duma to the Attorney General. Here are the details.
In recent days, this news agency reported that the President of the Departmental Assembly, Escorcio Christopher, requested before the Regional Prosecutor Office the immediate suspension of Deputy Carlos Carvajal. In our broadcast of June 16, the President of the Duma explained what were the reasons for which this request was made. And today, Deputy Carvajal spoke to Teleislas News about the legal actions to be taken before this decision.
En la Asamblea se ha presentado una...
In the Assembly, there is a legal problem. The Administrative Court has ruled in favor of Deputy Escorcio and has stated an investigation should be open in the prosecutor's office. What is certain is that everything has a process, and indeed the prosecutor will have to open an investigation, and I, as an official, will have the obligation to defend myself. The request made by Deputy Escorcio, I think, is an aggressive position against me, but I will just have to await it out. During the period, we acted in accordance with the internal regulation. I stand firm on what I did. It was based on internal regulations, and I will have to prove it before the control entities, and they are the ones who will have to make the decision they believe should be in place.
Deputy Carlos Carvajal indicated that he will be ready to respond to the authorities once the investigation against him are defined.